G'day folks, what is going on? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Coming at you on a Saturday morning from the Gold Coast in Australia. Just out on the balcony, a little bit of cloud cover. It's been a cloudy week, but it's warming up. We're heading into summer. Just having a little bit of coffee. Was getting a bit of work done, and wanted to film a quick video. Something popped up this morning, kind of overnight-ish. Business never really stops. It's kind of 24 hours a day, but it's fun. So something happened this morning, last night, that I think provides a really, really good lesson if you're trying to build a personal brand. And it's around this topic of, as you can tell from the title of this video, big secret, that the customer is definitely not always right. There's this old myth, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it started. I don't know how it kind of got to the point that it has, that the customer is always right. And I can tell you from experience, it's definitely not true. And I think that extends as well to people put a lot of weight on feedback from their audience. They run surveys. They ask questions all the time. If I made this thing, would you buy it? All that kind of shit. And they put so much weight on it. And it's so overvalued, right? People don't know what they want. If just because they say they're going to buy something, I can tell you, again, from experience, from testing and trying all this shit, that doesn't always mean that they're going to buy it. Even when people say, send me an order form, that doesn't always mean that they're going to buy it, right? So, wanted to tell you a little bit of a story, and it just kind of reinforces this point. And it's something that I would encourage you to really embrace and understand, because there's a couple of really strong benefits to thinking this way and acting this way, and there's a couple of really, really big, I guess, downsides or risks if you don't. All right, before we jump into this one, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, click the bell icon, all that good stuff. If you want to jump into my private community, that's going to be the first link in the description. You'll have to answer a couple of questions. It's just to make sure you're a real person. We like to have a quality over quantity approach in there, and then you'll get access. Below that, you're going to see a few more links. You can check out some of the paid programs that I've got, and you can see if any of them are a good fit for you or not. You can also join the waitlist for my VIP Inner Circle, which is an invitation-only program. Might be a fit for you. It may not be, but you can check that out and make that decision yourself. Just gonna duck inside. There's a bit of noise going on. Someone's decided to start building something on a Saturday morning. So this example comes from within my business, which is the link that you can see. That first link takes people over to my Facebook group, and there's a series of questions, right? Then what's going to happen is you're actually going to get presented with a link to the group, and there's going to be a few more questions, right? Now, here's the thing. There's some double up in some of those questions, right? And so anyway, I get this message from a guy who tells me that I'm so wrong in, I don't know what he's implying, wasting people's time maybe, I don't know. Because two of the questions overlap. And I didn't respond. I don't dignify unsolicited free advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. But it serves as a good lesson nonetheless. The reason we do that, the reason we have overlap between the questions in the application process to join the group and the questions when you actually request to join the group, it's two different sets of questions. The reason there's overlap is because when you grow a group that's big enough, and when it gets enough engagement like mine does, Facebook starts to recommend it. It's in the sidebar on Facebook. When people are in the groups feature on Facebook, it will get recommended, and you start to get free organic traffic from Facebook, which is awesome, right? We've made a ton of money from Facebook recommended leads, and those people aren't going to come through the ordinary process of that longer form application that people go through when they come from my YouTube channel, when they come from my website, when they come from my Facebook profile, right? But I still want that data. I still want that information. I still want the answers to those questions in order for me to determine if I want to let them in or not. So when people try and hand out free advice like this, like, oh, 2 of your questions overlap, you're wrong, you shouldn't do that, you know, change this, change that, right? Why do you do this? You got to remember, and this ties back to, you know, the customer's not always right and the people in your audience aren't always right. They can't see the whole picture. It's not their business, it's yours, right? So when you get messages like this, it's just a great reminder that the people that you're seeking feedback from in your business about what products to create, about what content to create, about where you should take things, and you see this constantly over and over and over again, especially from you know, personal brand type businesses. It's coming from people who don't really always understand you, what you're trying to achieve, the market that you play in. They can only see the small fraction of the business that is public and not everything that goes on behind the scenes. So the people that you're asking, it's not always a great source of data. I'm not going to sit here and say that you can't get any information out of people in your audience, but you've got to take it with a grain of salt. And there's people out there who ask these questions and they take it as gospel, right? If you want to be in a personal branding style business, you've got to become the leader in that business where you sit up the front and you drive the direction of everything. If you're letting other people steer that ship, you are going to absolutely crush and destroy any persuasion, influence that you might have or that you might have built up, right? Because it just comes across as needy, and it comes across like, even without explicitly saying it, it comes across like you don't really know where you're taking things or where things are going. And that doesn't sell confidence, right? Confidence and certainty are what really, really help get people over the line, especially when you're selling like transformation type products, making more money, losing weight, fixing blah, right? Go from here to here. That the confidence and certainty that we can help people get those results is really, really magnetic. And if you're constantly seeking feedback about where do I take all of this stuff, how can I serve you better? How can I give you more impact? All that shit. You aren't positioning yourself as someone who has a lot of confidence, because you don't know where to take your own business. So how can you then go and instill that confidence in your clients that they should invest money with you? Okay. So my lesson for you today is stop putting so much weight on advice and feedback that you get from people about how you're doing things, right? Because the significant majority of them don't know you, they don't know what you're trying to achieve, they don't know what goes on behind the scenes of your business, and they just don't have the experience to be providing this type of feedback. What I would encourage you to do is, if you want to try and get some feedback from your audience, create strategic type content around a particular topic, around a particular problem that you think they might have, engage the response to it, but do it in a more tactful way, right? You don't have to blatantly go out there and say, if I made this product, would you buy it? Please, please, please. It just comes across in the wrong light, in my opinion and from my experience. Okay. The other thing too is this should empower you to just kind of go. You don't need permission from your audience to create any one product, or you don't need permission from your audience to create any one type of content, right? If you know your shit about your market and the people in your market, you should be able to drive the direction of that. You should be able to spot and identify trends in your industry, where things are going, and you weave and maneuver according to that, all right? Sometimes you're going to be wrong and you're going to cop the arrows in the back, but that actually has a huge benefit because people see you taking the steps, right? The person who's up the front is actually a really, really magnetic position to be in, and people are drawn to that, all right? Just remember, people don't always have the full story, and unsolicited advice like that is 9 times out of 10 wrong and bullshit, and definitely shouldn't be listened to. Right? If someone pings you and they're like, hey, this link's broken, that's like fundamental to your process, sure. But if they're trying to tell you how to change your structure, change your strategy, when they don't really understand why you do things just because they have nothing better to do than hand out free advice, don't listen to it. Don't act on it. All right? You know what's best for you and your business. And if you make those decisions about where you want to take things and how you want to run things, and they go right, that's all on you. But also if they go wrong, that's all on you as well. Either way, you're in the driver's seat, you're in control, and you are the one that's carrying everything forward. All right? Customer is not always right. Just remember that, and it'll serve you really well in business whatever it is that you do. It's an old school myth. I don't know where it comes from, but from my experience, they aren't always right. You've got to put faith in yourself as the leader in your business to make decisions about where you're taking things, straight up. Okay? Hope you got some value out of that. This is going to be advice that some people are going to be ready to hear and some people aren't. The ones that aren't ready to hear, maybe they're not quite in a place in their business where they've experienced any negative side effects from listening to unsolicited advice or putting too much weight in the opinion of others. But that time will come. And you'll recall this, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because, with advice, you've got to be ready to hear it. You've got to have the experiences either in front of you or behind you to really be able to grab it and fully understand it and then do something with it. But those of you that are in this position, take that on and start to kind of live and die by your own decisions, and it'll really help you going forward. All right, check out the links in the description. Join the group if you want to jump over to the community. Check out the paid programs if you feel so inclined, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend.
La 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 la.